Not sure that an opening statement is required. I think it was pretty obvious that it was the difference in two halves in whatever statistical category that you would look at. We were as bad as you could be in the first half and arguably as good as you could be in the second half. And if you only looked at not the total box score, but if you looked at first half and second half, I think that explains the story of the game. Our energy and togetherness, fight, execution was very poor by everybody except for Mo, I think, in the first half. And you could argue that it was diametrically opposed to that in the second half. We understand that it was going to be at least a 40-minute game, and we did not do well enough. You can't score 16 points in one half, have 10 turnovers, shoot 5 free throws, and then in the second half, score 52 points, shoot 25 free throws, have 12 offensive rebounds. That's a reflection of me, and I have to do a lot better job so that we're, from start to finish, playing with the energy required.
Questions?
Was there any sense that the kind of lull in energy there in the second half was coming? Where do you think that, where does that come from?
The lull in the first half?
First half, excuse me, yeah.
I was not expecting it. I did not sense it. Our prep was good on Monday. They were good in shoot-around today. They were good in pregame. They were good in the locker room. I think the things that our assistant coaches cover are the same as what we did. I was not too technical prior to the game. I talked about fight. I talked about togetherness. I talked about they had lost 6 in a row other than the game that they had played against us. I told them that I thought it would come down to how hard we fought, how many 50-50 balls we would get, how active we were when the ball was in the air or on the ground. But I didn't sense that it would be as poor as it was in the first half.
I know defense kind of sparks y'all's offense in the best case scenario, but when the defense isn't really going and the offense isn't really going, what begets what in that kind of situation, or what do you think did in this situation today?
They shot 70% from 3 in the first half, and I think it was maybe 16% in the second half. Our contests were poor, and then the 10 turnovers in the first half, not all of them were against their variety of pressure, but in preparation yesterday and today, regardless of their pressure, we had a plan on how to attack, and we wanted to break the pressure and score. In the second half, we did that much, much better. We turned it over distinctly less, but we were also scoring in a broken floor situation because we broke their pressure. In the first half, we were on our heels. We were jumping in the air to make passes that may not have been there, that led to steals, dunks. So in this game, I think both of them were pulling in the wrong direction. And I thought in the second half, both of them were pulling in the right direction.
You feel like you, I guess, fixed the things you guys were working on? I know rebounding was a big emphasis coming in, and you seem to improve in that. And I guess, what do you need to work on?
I actually think our guys understand what we need to work on. I think they understand where we can be good and where we have to hedge our bets and being poor. We offensive rebounded 47% of the balls we missed tonight. I think that's a career high this year for our team. Maybe some of the things that we need to work on are the consistency and the energy required to do those things, because I think that was the difference tonight. And I think that's a reflection of me. How can whoever we play, is it Mo in the first half? Is it a different group that starts in the second half? Is it H in the last game? I know H made shots, but from an energy perspective, in order to execute the things that we know we have to do to be good, or execute the things that we know that we're not great at and hedge our bets, the prerequisite is playing with an incredible amount of fervor and energy, and we didn't do that in the first 100 minutes.
Do you feel like that first half was kind of a wake-up call to a lot of these guys that, starting a game like that, you're putting yourselves in that big of a hole without a game?
I think they were embarrassed after losing 6 in a row. We should be embarrassed prior to the jump ball. It's probably telling you the whole truth.
I know in the second half, a lot of the spark came from live ball turnovers into transition football. But when you did have half-court sets, it seemed like y'all were working a little bit earlier in the shot clock. Was that something conscious, or was that just a matter of when things opened up for y'all?
I think there would be several answers to it, but the one that would be prevailing was against their pressure. They continued to apply pressure. Can we get it up the sideline and attack on the weak side, or can we get it to the middle of the floor and then get it down to the other side of the floor? And so they're in rotation out of their press, and we didn't ever do that in the first half. It was too much. They stayed in their alignment as we inchwormed the ball up. And you're not going to be able to attack it every single time, but when you can attack it, attack to score. And that's going to happen earlier in the clock. And I think from a mentality standpoint, that helps the floor to tilt downhill, and then maybe helps engage us from a intensity standpoint defensively.
With about 3 minutes left in the first half, I think the shot clock expired following the timeout, if I'm not mistaken. Is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of the last?
Yeah, we were. It was a draw up that we know. We were trying to take advantage of their switching and unaware of the clock, even though it was near a full clock. And that's obviously a dead ball turnover and poor coaching on my part.
How was Wade doing physically? I know he got knocked out of the first half, came back the second half, but just how's he doing after he got hit in the...
It's a physical league, and you have to work on taking care of your body in the training room, and you have to work on continuing to get stronger in the weight room. And regardless of your age, I think that will always apply in this league. Four's body has changed dramatically since he arrived Memorial Day. That specific play, probably best not for me to comment on. But I rushed on the floor without permission because the health and safety of our guys is really important to me as a person.
It doesn't get any easier from here either.
No, I think we play Auburn and early morning. All the important people will be at the game, and it'll be another great test for us to see if we can respond from an energy standpoint. And you can argue that they're the best team in the country with the most talent, with the highest number of NBA prospects, and all of that is good because it'll give us a gauge on, despite the ambiance and environment, does it change us in a good way or a bad way? The last time we played there, we had a different team, but I think they had won 22 games in a row and had won there 2 years in a row. And it was sometimes on the road I try to always. I didn't tonight because we had an issue, but I try to walk on the floor at 47, 49 minutes so I can say hello to the staff from the opponent and be as polite as possible just to say hello. And when I walked on the floor at Auburn, I can't remember the name of the arena, but, you know, they let the student section sit in the lower bowl. And goodness gracious, I mean, it was like the 48 minutes, and it was the student section was sold out, and they had all the signs and were razzing our guys. It was an incredible environment, and I would anticipate it'll be even better on Saturday morning.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.